I hope you had a great weekend. Well, today we've been talking about self-discipline for the longest time because the bitter, ugly truth is when it comes to weight loss, when it comes to disease, when it comes to prevention, when it comes to healing, there is one bitter, ugly truth, which is we almost all know what we need to do. Everyone knows what they should eat, how much they should eat. Everyone knows they should work out. Everyone knows that they should sleep well at night. Everyone knows that every disease, almost every disease, and the inability to lose weight is also connected to your emotional chronic stress. So we know everything, but we don't do it because we lack self-discipline. So we start looking for more complicated things. We start looking for quick fixes. We start looking left and right to see what the world around us is doing. And then we try to take the simplest and easiest things and apply it to our life, hoping to get a result, which is highly elusive, and we start getting more and more frustrated. When it comes to self-discipline, we talk about it because honestly, it is the only thing, one of the only things that will help you to achieve any goal that you want. Of course, goals should be realistic and all of that stuff, but that's different because there's a whole set of people who like to pick up and find small points with what people say. So anyway, let's ignore those kind of people and get back to the point. Self-discipline. Now, how do you instill self-discipline? We talk about it, but how do you instill self-discipline? We've all done it already, which means we have the potential to instill self-discipline in us. Let's take the simplest example of waking up and brushing our teeth. I'm hoping everyone does that, but all of us almost do that. Now that's become a habit. Okay, no matter what, we wake up lazy, we wake up late, no matter what it is, we will get up and out of habit. Unconsciously, our subconscious mind will drive us to the bathroom to brush our teeth every morning. There is a self-discipline that is instilled in us to do that. There is also a self-discipline instilled in us to do joyful things, to do the things that we like, to go to work every time. So a successful businessman will do everything required with self-discipline to achieve business goals. So the same thing, the understanding is that we have the ability to instill self-discipline in us. A lot of people say, oh, I'm not disciplined, I can never do it. You are, you choose not to do it. It's not important to you, which is why you don't make it a habit. But brushing your teeth, if you're not disciplined, then you shouldn't brush your teeth and you should go out like that. But you still do it because it's ingrained in you, it's become a habit, and it is important for you. So how do we instill self-discipline? Number one, know what you want to change. Most people don't know what they want to change or achieve in life. It's on the surface. They only scratch the surface. You ask anyone, what is it about your health that you want to change? Oh, I want to have a size 0 figure. I want to have a six-pack. I want to fit into this dress. I have a wedding coming up in 3 days. I want to be healthy so I can enjoy my life. This is scratching the surface. These are things that we should have and achieve automatically. Go deeply beyond that. What are the things that you are trying to change? Okay, whether it's better quality sleep, whether it's being more consistent with your exercise, whether it's accepting certain things and letting go of certain things in your life, whether it's eating balanced nutrition, even one meal at a time. Make a list of the things that you want to change, and knowing that when you change these things, it will create a shift in your life, which means it will result in you being happier, it will result in you being more productive, in achieving something, your self-esteem going up, your self-confidence going up. Don't just do it for the sake of doing it. You know, most people can punish the weight off their system through starvation and heavy exercise just to fit into a dress for the next wedding. And they feel good at that wedding, but the moment the wedding's over, they don't feel good anymore. Because you see, they haven't really had a long-term, goal attached with what they want to do. So you first make a list of the top 1 or 2 or 3 things that when you change that with self-discipline, it will leave you with a sense of fulfillment. And that's what makes us feel good at the end of the day, when we fulfill something. Now, when you have this list ready, because most of us will have a list, you take one thing at a time. Self-discipline for one thing at a time. So let's talk about weight loss. So if I had to ask you right now, what are the top 3 things in your life that you need to change, which is your obstacle towards you losing weight? Some of you may say I overeat, some of you may say I lose it on the weekend and binge, some of you will say my exercise is not consistent, whatever it is. Take these top 3 obstacles that you identify, okay, and work on them one at a time. The second thing is remove temptation. Okay, with self-discipline around, okay, you need to remove temptation. So if you're trying to cut down on your junk and processed food at home, you should not keep junk and processed food at home. I don't know why people love talking about how full their fridges are of Swiss chocolates and this chocolate and French chocolate and all of that crap when they're trying to lose weight and they're trying to get self-discipline. If it is in your fridge, you will wake up to eat it. If it is in your fridge, it will be playing on your mind. Okay, but there are very few people who will really wake up and find out that there's nothing in their fridge and really make a trip down to the grocery store to buy it and have it. And even if you do that, that's okay. But remove temptation. If you're trying to cut down on your alcohol, if you're trying to stop smoking, you need to remove the temptation, which is sometimes the group that you hang around with. This doesn't mean you break friendships. This doesn't mean that you do all of that stuff. It just means that you remove temptation until you are strong enough with self-discipline to be in that group and not drink, or be in that group and not smoke, or be in that group and not overeat. That is what self-discipline is all about. But most of us are too bothered about what other people are going to think about us and say about us and stuff like that. So then we lose that self-power and self-control, and that's when we lose self-discipline. So you can still have a social life, you can still party, you can still have friends. You don't have to compromise anything for self-discipline. Self-discipline is not a punishment. It is not a punishment at all. It just means that if there are people who choose to be average and you choose to be above average, okay, you choose not to do what those average people do. It's as simple as that. No matter how much fun they make of you, how much they ridicule, how much they tease you, you need to understand one thing. A lot of human beings can't stand to see you achieve something. So if you suddenly got on this, if you're known as a person who eats too many desserts or doesn't work out, and all of a sudden you start to make this change, there'll be people around you who can't stand to see you trying to make that change. They can't stand to see you happy making that change. And so they'll try to pull you down. They'll try to make sure that you falter with what you're trying to do. They'll add more temptation in front of you. They'll try to derail you because they want to get you down to their level so that they feel normal. They feel normal. Most people don't feel normal when someone's above them and achieving something. So you need to be careful of this temptation. They can still be your best of friends, but you know where to draw the line with self-discipline. So remove temptation. Understand that people will try to pull you down and tempt you and do all of that stuff. But if you've chosen to make a change and be above average, then you do not do average things. As simple as that. Many times when you're trying to attain self-discipline, what's going to happen is you will fail. You will fail several times. The idea is to get up the next day and get back on track. Again and again, you'll fail 5 out of 7 days, but you get up the 8th day and you do it again. That's what helps us generate a habit, and that's what helps us generate self-discipline. No one generates self-discipline in a day, in a week, in 2 weeks, or 1 month. Maybe some people, if they have a very, very strong willpower in mind. So you will fail and you will keep getting up and keep doing it again over and over and over again. Self-discipline is defined as doing the same thing over and over again, no matter how much it pains you, it hurts you, of course not physically, emotionally, and mentally, no matter how difficult it is, no matter how many times you fall and fail. So now you make that list of 1 or 2 or 3 things that if you add self-discipline to and achieve, it is going to change your well-being, your life, your happiness quotient, your relationships, everything. Usually we think it's a list of things that we need to change, but no, it's 1 or 2 or 3 things that if we can change, everything else in our life and our health gets better. And this is how easy it is to do it. You wake up and do it over and over again. You reward yourself with success. You reward yourself, you celebrate little successes. So if you've got enough sugar for a week, great, celebrate it. Be happy about it. If you manage to do it for 3 out of 7 days, celebrate 3 days. It's still 3 days of no sugar. You got to take little steps, but because we're constantly comparing ourselves with other people and seeing them achieve much faster than us, we put ourselves down. Our self-esteem, self-confidence lowers. So the only person you should be comparing yourself to is yourself. You are your best benchmark. Are you better than what you were yesterday? Will you be better tomorrow than what you were today? The only comparison is you, 1 step at a time. You compare yourself with other people, you're only going to be miserable, you're going to feel unhappy, you're going to feel sad, that's going to lead to stress, cortisol, hormonal imbalance. You're in a vicious cycle that is very, very difficult to break. Self-discipline is the key of every single thing. Like I spoke about the knowledge action syndrome, people all have the knowledge, they just miss the action. They don't do it. So we don't like to be called lazy. We don't like to be called greedy. We don't like to be called all these terms because it hurts our ego. It hurts our pride. But self-discipline, you realize that you have an inflated ego and a pride, and you put all of that down and you start taking one step forward. And that's how we get better at what we do. And that's how our well-being and health is going to get better. Have a great day, everyone. Until next time, eat smart, move more, sleep right, and breathe deep.